Hey, this is The Rock. Hit that like button if you agree that you shouldn't be pushed based on skin color.
Oh yeah, by the way, the American Nightmare, Joe Burrow, he will dethrone our tribal chief, Patrick Mahomes, this year in the NFL. I guarantee it. He will finish his story against Patrick Mahomes boy. But let's talk about how people keep saying that, oh, the World Wrestling Federation are not pushing black men on the main roster. And it's like, bruh, that is a left-wing nut job talking point. You want to bring up racism because it's a hot button topic and it's cool to talk about and it gets you clout. I'm like, bruh, fuck you, right? Fuck you. There is no talented black men right now on the main roster that deserve a push. You can't name me not one. Listen, Carmelo Hayes is not ready for a push. Bobby Lashley is pushing 50. Omos is boring. He's not that good in a goddamn ring and he has no heat. Let's talk about the Prophets. Montez Ford, Dawkins. Those guys are boring. They are goofy. They are a poor man's New Day. Okay, the crowd, they are over the Prophets. Okay, they are goofy. You can't turn them heel because you can't take them seriously. Bobby Lashley tried to turn them heel. Bro, they suck. Okay, they are very talented in the ring, but overall, as gimmicks, characters, promos, they suck. So, how about R-Truth? Listen, R-Truth don't count. He is a legacy wrestler. Okay, he's in his 50s. Okay, he don't count. Okay, he's from the Vince era. He's a legend. He don't count as a push. But Triple H did give him the tag team titles with a white man. Okay, I just want to point that out there. But let's talk about how, maybe since 1995, who was actually good enough to be a world champion outside of Mark Henry, Rocky Maivia, Ahmed Johnson, fucking Booker T. Who was good enough to be a world champion as a black man since 1995? Because I hate when people say, oh, the World Wrestling Federation is racist against black men. Okay, how? Listen, I'm gonna keep on saying it. You can't push black men or any other race just because of their race. By that logic, that's called an agenda. That ain't real. That's fake. That's called a fake push. You can't do that. You have to push people that have a connection with the audience, that are talented and good. You can't push them based on their fucking race. It's like, that's called a damn quota. Okay, let's just push him because he's black. We need a black man to push. Bro, that's racist, right? So, no, I don't think Vince McMahon had a grudge against black men. Bro, it's called quality over quantity. Were there any quality black men that were at the Stone Cold level or the Rocky Maivia level when it comes to being over and being a main event like talent? I can only think about maybe Bobby Lashley and Ahmed Johnson. That's it. Ahmed Johnson and Bobby Lashley. MVP was not main event material. Shelton Benjamin was not main event material. Ezekiel Jackson was not main event material. Do I think Big E was main event material? No, I do not. They gave him the world title because they gave Kofi the world title. So they felt like, okay, let's give Big E a bone. He's good. The crowd likes him, so let's give him the world title. I mean, it wasn't special like Kofi, but let's talk about Kofi Kingston, because I hate when people say they don't push black men, but you want to complain that Kofi was a bad champion. You want to complain that you did not take Kofi seriously, but he was black, right? He was a black, dark, chocolate world champion. That's what you've been crying about, but you said he was a whack champion. You said, man, why is Kofi tossing pancakes? Yeah, but that's what you wanted, right? You said Vince don't push black men. Well, he's a black man. You can't have it both ways. Let's just call a spade a spade. There has not been that many good black men to be main eventers as world champions, besides maybe Kofi, but that's it. Lashley, Kofi, that's it. I don't think Big E was a damn main eventer based on his goofy ass character. So overall, there has not been that many great black main event talent in the World Wrestling Federation that yo ass can say, okay, that guy, he should have been a world champion. Honestly, I don't think Ron Simmons should have been a world champion in the World Wrestling Federation when he was with the Nation of Domination. No, why? Because Rocky Maivia was the bigger star. He overshadowed Farouk in that group. Yes, there was a point in time where I think Farouk did challenge for the world title, right? Farouk did challenge for the world title, but Farouk was never over like that. So no, Ron Simmons did not deserve to be a world champion in the World Wrestling Federation. So let's cross him off that list. Let's talk about the damn Godfather. Nope, the Godfather was not good enough to be a world champion. How about D'Lo Brown? Was he good enough to be a world champion? No. And guess what? I'm a huge fan of D'Lo Brown, but no, he was not main event material. I will say Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson, he could have been a world champion, but he sabotaged his own push because he always got hurt and he had backstage heat. But overall, Ahmed Johnson, now that guy was main event material. He was world title material, but obviously Ahmed Johnson dropped the ball on his own career. Listen, Vince McMahon, he loved Ahmed Johnson. Man, I was a huge Ahmed Johnson super fan. That guy was mega over. Go back and YouTube his matches. He got some of the biggest pops on the show. People loved Ahmed Johnson. But if we cross out Booker, Ahmed, Mark Henry, Lashley, you can't name me another guy that could have been a world title contender or a main eventer. Listen, MVP was a mid-carder. Shelton Benjamin was a mid-carder. Ezekiel Jackson was a mid-carder. What about motherfucking Ricochet? Mid-carder. How about Too Cold Scorpio? Was he main event material? Hell no. What about Viscera? No, he was not main event material. What about Orlando Jordan? No. What about the Boogeyman? No, the Boogeyman was not a main eventer. What about Elijah Burks? No, he was a mid-card guy. So I'm just giving you a whole bunch of facts and evidence. Xavier Woods, not a main eventer. Who else? Fucking Coco Beware, not a main eventer. So this is a huge list, huge facts and evidence that you can't complain that there has not been that many black world champions in the World Wrestling Federation, because most of them were not world championship material. Okay, what about a Prime R-Truth? Do I think a Prime R-Truth was main event material? Do I think he was world championship material? No, I do not think so. I think he was always a mid-card guy. Maybe in TNA, yes, he was a main eventer, but that's TNA. They always pushed mid-carders as main eventers in TNA. That is a fact. But in the World Wrestling Federation, no, I don't think R-Truth was main event material. He was a mid-card guy. But that ain't no bad thing, but I think R-Truth was always a mid-card guy. Do I think that Monty Brown had upside, the alpha male? Yes, Monty Brown had upside. But I didn't view him as a main eventer. I viewed him as a mid-card guy. Like I said, Bobby Lashley, Mark Henry, Booker, those guys were world title material. I would say back during Bobby Lashley's first run, I heard that Vince McMahon was going to make him a world champion way back when. So Bobby always had the it factor. But just overall, the past 25 years, man, I have not seen that many great black wrestlers that were main event caliber on the main roster. I'm just speaking facts, because even back in Kofi Kingston's prime, yes, he did have a run where I was like, you know what? I think Kofi can be a world champion. But Kofi Kingston had that it factor. Do I think that Patrick Clark had the it factor? Yes. But obviously, Patrick Clark, he dropped the ball on his own career. Do I think that Swerve Scott was main event material in the World Wrestling Federation? Hell no. Of course not. But in all elite fake pro wrestling, yes, he is a main eventer. So overall, no, I don't think Vince was a racist. It's like, bro, there wasn't that many talented caliber main event black talents outside of The Rock, Booker, and Mark Henry, Lashley, Kofi. That's it. Because, man, I think Big E had an awful run as world champion. I don't think Big E was world championship material. And he proved that, right? So, do I think that Ezekiel Jackson was world championship material? No, right? So, if you are going to call them racist, okay, give me wrestlers that could have been world champions, because hell no, MVP was not a main eventer. MVP was not world championship material. I'm just speaking facts. So if you're gonna call them racist, okay, tell me who they actually dropped the ball on. Because you can't name me not one guy that your ass can say, you know what, they dropped the ball on that guy. No. I feel like everybody got booked correctly. To me, I'm being real. Everybody got booked correctly. Because Kofi was a great mid-card guy. He is what? A 4-time IC champion. A 4-time US champion. Like, Kofi had a great career. Do I think that Bad News Brown could have been a world champion? Man, that is a hard question. Because I view Bad News Brown as a IC champion, but not a world champion. Do I think that Ahmed Johnson could have been a world champion? Yes, hell yes. You know why? Ahmed was the first black IC champion of all time, but nobody gives him credit. Yes, look it up. Ahmed Johnson was the first black IC champion in the World Wrestling Federation. So obviously, Vince was a huge fan of Ahmed, and he was going to be the first black world champion in the World Wrestling Federation. But Ahmed got fat, lazy, Ahmed got hurt, he had backstage heat. That was not on Vince. Do I think that Jason Jordan could have been a world champion? No. Do I think that Cedric Alexander could have been a world champion? No. Do I think that Rich Swann could have been a world champion? No. These are very good, talented black men, but they were mid-card guys. Like I said, the crop is not that big when it comes to black main eventers who had the it factor outside of Lashley, fucking Booker, and Mark Henry. Okay, let's go back to the ruthless aggression era. Can you name me a great black wrestler back then that was not named Booker and Lashley that were main event talent? No. Listen, I like Shelton Benjamin, but Shelton had no personality. He had no gimmick, no character. He was a tag team guy. He had talent, but he was not main event material, and he proved that 10 years later when he came back to the World Wrestling Federation. Okay, what about Apollo Crews? Is he main event material? No, because he has no character, no personality, no nothing. What about Titus O'Neil? Was he ever main event talent? Was he ever a main event guy? No, of course not. He was a mid-card guy just like Apollo Crews. So please, fuck you and your bullshit when it comes to saying that they are racist against blacks. How? Bruh, do you see O'Neil as a main eventer? Do you think Apollo Crews is a fucking main eventer? Of course not, bitch, so fuck you. It's only these left-wing nutjob beta males who cry over racism every chance they get just because they want the clout and they want to fit in. I'm like, bitch, fuck you. You don't know what racism is. So overall, I'm done.